Hey guys, it's me, Rebecca. I'm back to teach you some more good stuff about how you can use your own essential oils at home more effectively. And this is the continuing education class that fits in the boop, boop, boop yellow category. So if you're following the continuing education and you're trying to catch a class that matches every color coded, this is the yellow category. It's all about emotional independence. So it's more than just using oils to feel better in the moment. It's like over time, how can we sustain being the master of our emotions, right? So I know that's something that even people that feel like positive most of the time, we still deal with crud in life, right? So I'm going to teach you ways that you can support feeling better more often, and I will teach you multiple layers because I have found in my emotional work with essential oils that the deeper that you want to go, the deeper you can go to support feeling better more often. And it's kind of like this nesting doll. You'll think that everything's all about this one emotion that's blaring in your face, and you deal with that emotion and you realize that there are deeper nests of the same problem but different layers of emotion. I hope that made sense. I'm excited to do this class with you on the internet because I did a live one a couple of weeks ago and it was awesome. Super emotional. I feel like it was really helpful for everyone who came, and then I was like, man, everyone who didn't make it, I want to give you the chance to see this later. So since I'm at home, I don't have to wear a mask, and since you're at home, you don't have to come out in public and brave all of the new mandates about masking and all of that stuff. So just stay home in this COVID pandemic and just enjoy this class face to face with your whatever device you can, right? Anyways, okay, this is the first layer. So going to this is what I would say to most beginners. They're coming to essential oils for the first time. I'm telling them they can use essential oils for emotions. So what does that look like? Well, we're going to start with something easy. We're going to say like, well, I'm just feeling depressed most of the time. So we're going to say, okay, so we're going to look up depression, maybe in the Modern Essentials book, maybe we could look up stress, whatever is the emotion that you're feeling most often, we're just going to look it up and we're going to see what oils are listed. So I'm going to look up stress in here because I think that's pretty common across the board. Most of us feel stress at some point of the day or another. So I'm finding stress in my book, and you can look this up in any essential oil reference guide that you've got because it's level 1 here. Most books will cover stress. Okay, so when I find stress in my book, stress, ta-da! I found it. Okay, so it's going to list a whole bunch of oils. In this book, I see Aroma Touch, Serenity, Adaptive, Past Tense, Mandarin, Cheer, Sunny Citrus, Amavi, like a huge list of oils that I can use for stress. And I'm going to take one that I have on hand. I'm going to smell, like, let's say I have 2 or 3 of these. And I'm going to smell one that just hits me stronger. Like, I just like the smell of it more. I just feel more in tune with that oil. We're going to go with Steady today because this is the one I'm feeling today. So it's going to recommend maybe that you rub it in a certain spot, or maybe there's a little aroma emoji next to it, so breathing it in is the most effective way to use that oil for this emotion. So I'm going to roll it on my hands because it's a rolly bottle. Thank you, Steady. And I'm just going to breathe it in. Maybe I'll rub it on the bottoms of my feet. Maybe I'll rub it over my shoulders where I just feel that tension and just kind of help to ease the stress that I'm feeling. Also in this level 1, there are some emotions in the book, in like most reference guides, stress, depression, wanting to be uplifted, like just kind of generalized emotions will be in those books. But if you want something a little bit more specific and you don't have an emotion and essential oils book like this, you can totally buy these on Amazon. You can buy them from Aroma Tools. I would give one to you if you want to set up a loyalty rewards order, because often there are more oils that you want, and it gives you the best kickbacks, the best deals from doTERRA on how to get your oil stockpile like built up. So if you want one of these books, message me about getting one, or just order yourself one from Amazon. If you don't have that and you want to do something now to make your emotional state better, then doTERRA does have this cute little emotional wheel. You can download it right from our website and print it out yourself, or you can put it on your monthly order, and it comes in like a big poster size that you can put on your wall if you want to be that serious about it. And you can see on this chart that the emotions are a little bit more exact. And so if I'm feeling gloomy over here, I might use a citrus oil. If I'm feeling ashamed or embarrassed down here, or sad, I might use a tree oil. So that can help you get a little bit more specific. Maybe I'm going to sit down and breathe with it for 2 minutes, because that's part of my wellness plan. I would recommend in the beginning, when people are just getting their feet wet with this whole oils and emotions thing, that maybe they put it in the diffuser every day and they smell it every morning, and that's just part of their wellness plan. Maybe they're just going to put it next to their bed and they're going to rub it on before they go to sleep, and that's part of the emotional wellness plan. For most folks, I recommend diffusing every day. So that's like the baby steps. That's how we just get going with using that oil to support this emotion on a regular basis. That's level 1. Okay, so level 2, a lot of the times you'll be feeling an emotion like stress, and you'll go and you'll use your oil for stress, and pretty soon this other, like once the stress starts to dissolve, this other emotion comes up that you didn't realize was also underneath there. And so when this other emotion comes up, you have the opportunity to deal with it or not. And it might come up with a whole bunch of baggage attached. Like the second level or third level, that's usually where all of the baggage really is hiding. So let's say for me, on this day that I'm stressed, I go and I use my steady, I breathe it in for a few minutes, and I feel better. But then I realize that there is something else that's really waiting under the surface for me to deal with it. And on this particular day, let's just say that the feeling I'm dealing with is being incapable. I feel like I can't do something. I'm just falling short of whatever, and that's the thing I keep saying over and over again is, I can't. So I'm going to go to the section, now I've switched from using any book, any generic essential oil book, to using an emotional essential oil book, because the emotion incapable is probably not going to be in the run-of-the-mill essential oil reference guide. But it is in this book. It's a more specific emotion. So I'm going to an emotional book. This one's called Essential Emotions. It's the most recent edition. If you've been with me long enough, you probably have seen me use it before. So older editions. And I'll show you why I like this one better. So dust off your emotions and essential oil book and find incapable. And on the page that says incapable, I'm going to see a similar thing. There's several oils listed, and I'm going to breathe through some of them: clove, cassia, ginger, turmeric, rescuer, beautiful. And I'm going to find the one out of the set that I have that resonates the most with me again. So today it's going to happen to be grapefruit and ginger, a combination. So I'm using this blend of grapefruit and ginger. And it recommends in my book that I breathe it in and that I rub it in a specific place on my body. Now this place is my solar plexus, it's right here, right in the middle, right under at the bottom of your rib cage, but above your belly button. So it's kind of right in the middle of your body, right above where your diaphragm is, right above the surface of where your diaphragm muscle sits. So I'm going to rub this oil on that spot. And anytime that you're led to rub essential oils on a specific spot in your body, there's usually multiple layers of meaning behind that area. So maybe it's a chakra, which is an energy center in your body that we need to build up or level out. Maybe it's a meridian point, and so we're going to a specific point on like a certain meridian, like this is the heart meridian, where they're like the acupuncturists use, and I'm going to put an essential oil to use the energy of that oil on a certain spot to create a certain impact on my body, mind, or soul. Maybe I'm just putting it on a general area of the body because I want the emotional significance of that area. So this area that I chose for this feeling of being incapable is a chakra, and it is an emotional center based on feeling self-confidence and certain emotions that I'm lacking with this feeling of being incapable. So I chose an emotionally significant place to put this oil. And it just, the more ties, it's not, if you're new to this and that sounds strange to you, it's not always about I'm going to put it in this location, it's going to magically do something amazing. It's more about, I'm putting this oil on in an intentional place, and it's going to fire more centers in my brain. It says, that area of the body. And when I think of that area of the body, I think of posture and sitting up strong and feeling confident. And it's going to, the more ties that you make in your brain to this experience and kicking out that feeling that you want to get rid of, the stronger your mental response will be to this situation. And in the long term, changing your thoughts and your beliefs about this emotion is what really makes the difference. So, layer 2, I'm going to use oils the same way I did in layer 1, but I'm probably going to put them in a significant place on my body. Make sense? I hope so. So now with this layer 2, I put it on this specific spot, and now I'm going to ask myself questions that are listed in this book. This is part of layer 2. That's not in the older editions. It gives me a prompt for questions that I can use to go a step deeper. So I might ask myself, what will it take for me to feel like I trust myself? Why am I concerned with the opinions of others? These are like, deeper, juicier questions that I'm going to have the opportunity now to journal or to bring up in conversation with a trusted friend or to just ponder on. So I'm going to ask myself those questions, trusting that I will come up with an answer. And when I do come up with an answer, then I'll have the possible inspiration to change that thing in my life. So this is where we get to level 3. I'm more than just putting an oil on something, like covering it up with a Band-Aid. I'm like poking around at that emotion. I'm trying to feel out where it comes from, why I'm having it, and why it's continually recurring for me. I'm going to do the emotional work to get to the root of why I'm really feeling this way. And once that I get there, I might be inspired with something I can do to change this life situation. So maybe you will be inspired to talk to someone specific in your life. Maybe you'll be inspired to do an action. Like for me and this feeling of being incapable, maybe I just needed to get a babysitter so that I could do the thing that I needed to do. Maybe that's my action. Maybe I just need to fix my pile of laundry so that I can think about, like, I can release that and think about other things in my life. Maybe you need to issue forgiveness. Maybe you need to, I'm not going to put a whole bunch of examples out there because I don't want you to listen to it and think that I'm telling you what to do. I want to just list examples of things that you might hear inspiration-wise when you're doing this emotional work. And I want to give you the courage to move into that space and to do that thing and to feel better in the long run. It can be so powerful. So this only comes with the second or the third level. So in this third level of emotional work, I'm hoping to dissolve that emotion that I'm dealing with, that little nugget of emotion. And once it's dissolved, then I need to replace it with positive things. So the book offers possible affirmations, like positive things you can tell yourself to feed yourself to fill that hole where that emotion was. Otherwise, it's just an emptiness that will quickly fill back in with other yucky things. So you might begin putting on this essential oil in the future moving forward and saying to yourself things like, I now believe in my ability to move forward. I am safe. I'm secure. I'm abounding in grace. I am enough. You might imagine as you do that your feet are anchored to a pathway, that confidence is flowing, that you are using your intuition to move forward. Like all of these good things in this one section in this book about this one emotion that could have just been a surface level passing by it. And now we've gone really deep. So I really appreciate you sticking with me through the second and third level discussion about essential oils and emotions. So, sometimes it's difficult to know where to start with emotions because you feel an overwhelming amount of uncomfortable emotions pretty often. A lot. So I would love in this moment to walk you through a protocol that is created by a girl named Desiree, and she calls this protocol I Am Fabulous because it helps take someone from overwhelmed, pooped on, feeling caca all the time to being more secure and confident in where you're going and the things that you want and what you're pursuing. So if that sounds like a beautiful thing to you and you want that, then stick around for this oil protocol that's coming up. I'll tell you the oils she recommends and where to put them and why. Okay, so this whole thing that I'm about to share with you is just about kind of clearing your slate and starting over with the best tools so that you can move forward in the direction you want instead of being a pooped on victim. Okay. So here we go. The very first thing that Desiree recommends is reducing overwhelm. So that feeling that overarches whatever emotion that's underneath, we're going to eliminate that overwhelming thing. So we're going to use tea tree or melaleuca in order to do that. And she recommends that we put it on your throat, on the back of your neck, on your chest, over your heart, move aside, necklace, and then once again on your solar plexus. So I'm going to put it in that area right in the center of my body, over my diaphragm. Melaleuca cleanses attachments that don't serve us. Sometimes we involve ourselves with people or circumstances or commitments that are really not healthy and they create overwhelm for us. And this application process of putting tea tree in all these spots will begin letting go of attachments. So if you're putting it on with that intention, your brain will pay attention to what you want. So we're using melaleuca to do that. The second phase of eliminating overwhelm, is we're going to use oregano, which is a hot oil, on the top of your head. And it says to use a drop up there, which you can feel free to do that if you have some oregano. I'm going to use oregano that's already been diluted in a rolly bottle, and I'm just going to rub it. You can either rub it right on your finger and rub it up there, or you can rub it right on the spot on the top of your head. Either one's okay. I'm going to rub it in for a moment. I'm just going to let that sit and try to notice if there's anything different in your system when you use oregano up there. Oregano helps one to step outside of oneself, get perspective, and see what needs to change. It helps create an open mind and flexibility to make the changes necessary for personal growth. Okay. The last phase of eliminating overwhelm, is Cyprus. And we're going to use Cyprus on the inside of our elbow crease, right here like this. And the idea behind this Cyprus is the oil of emotional flow. And we just like it helps move circulation, literal like blood flow better in your body. We're going to help move emotions through your body better too. Okay, so there goes Cyprus. It's powerful at unstucking you. So now in this phase, after 3 oils, you have reduce the feeling of overwhelm. And just the 30 seconds that it took you to do all of that is a powerful message to you, reducing your stress, getting you into a space where now you can think more clearly, right? And who couldn't use that? Oh my gosh. So now that we've eliminated that surface emotion, now we're going to boost our self-esteem, because whatever is underneath that overwhelming feeling usually gets at the core of who we are or who we think we should be or what other people in life are counting on us. So the 3 oils we're going to use in this area are fennel, bergamot, and grapefruit. And we're going to use those to help ourselves feel our best so the next phase comes easier. The first oil is fennel, and it recommends putting fennel on the inside of your wrist crease. A lot of these places, like I mentioned before, have emotional significance. I'm going to put fennel here. It helps me connect with my personal needs and begin to say yes to me and to all that I am, and let go of my responsibilities that don't serve me anymore. So I am feeling like rubbing this around my wrists like this, around all of the possible spots where I am tying myself up emotionally. I'm using this oil to break off those emotional ties, to unshackle myself, in other words. Now that I've done that with fennel, I'm going to use bergamot and grapefruit, and I'm going to put them on my solar plexus once again. Lots of oils on our solar plexus here. I think that I'm getting this picture that most of us don't have a lot of self-esteem and self-confidence, and we need work on that emotional area. So both of those oils at the same time, right over my diaphragm once again. These oils show you how to love yourself unconditionally. It's time to fall deeply in love with you. Once people around you notice it, they will feel the difference. Okay. Now I feel more confident to go in a positive direction. Which way should that be? I'm going to use 2 essential oils, Douglas fir and spearmint, to help me find my sense of intuition so that I know where to go. I'm going to start with Douglas fir. It's one of my favorites. I seriously love this oil so much. Okay, focus. I could just breathe it in for days. You're going to have a positive response like that, most likely, to one of these oils. I'm going to use Douglas fir on the back of my neck. It will help uncloud my thinking and vision for myself. Douglas fir allows for divine wisdom and guidance, and it brightens your mind so that you can see your new pathway clearly. So whatever changes that need to be made, whatever you need to let go of, you'll start to feel it now. Spearmint is the next oil, and we're going to use that on the top of our head. So I'm going to use a little bit like this, bloop, bloop, on the top of my head. It's going to help clear away thoughts that confuse and distract me. I want to bring back that clarity and intenseness to my vision for my life. So I'm going to use a little bit of oil on my tongue too, because I feel like I should. And because I just like the taste of spearmint. So that's happening. Spearmint is the oil of clear communication. So maybe that's why I want it there on my tongue. Okay. Next, last big step in this start over, like this renewing process here that we're going through this protocol, is ginger and cinnamon. And I'm going to put them at the same time, both of them, on my solar plexus and on the outside of my wrist this time. So those two together I'm going to use, and my intention with them is to protect myself. Increase my courage so that no matter the obstacle that comes up in the positive changes I know I need to make, nothing and no one will stand in the way of my new self-given purpose. So I'm going to use ginger and cinnamon. They're both kind of spicy oils, so if you want to dilute them, this sheet recommends that you actually put a few drops in carrier oil and dilute them pretty heavily before you apply them. I'm going to rub them again on my solar plexus. It's like acting as a shield for my whole system here. And then I'm going to put them on the outsides of my wrists so I can block whatever I don't want, whatever I need to say no to. Okay? I hope that wasn't too far out there for you. I hope this was a really good introduction for you to go deeper with your essential oils. Now, once you've done this protocol and you have whatever you're feeling right now, recentered, rebalanced, refocused, you may go into the next few weeks using blends. You don't have to do this. Okay. What am I trying to say? Now that we've finished this process, this protocol of helping you rebalance, recenter, refocus, you don't have to do it every day. In fact, you probably don't need it every day. What would serve you really well moving forward is to create a blend or a couple of oils that you really like and to use them every day intentionally, however you feel inspired to do so. So I would encourage you to make a blend. Desiree has listed several here that will be helpful. I'll hold this up so you can see. She's actually got like a protocol of like a month worth of oils to use, or 2 months worth of oils to use. You can see that she has you first start with using a blend such as Release Your Fears or Bye Bye Baggage. The one that I chose for myself personally is Just Say No, because there's a million good things that I could do in my life and I have trouble saying no to them. Okay, so I'm going to use this oil around my wrists, and I feel really good about using it behind my ears right here and under my jawline, because I just feel like that's where I need it. And if you need guidance on where you need it, you could call and ask me. You could send me a message. You could just sit for a moment and ponder on it, and I'll bet the answer will come to you. All right, so there's my process, and I will like keep this next to my bed or in my bathroom next to my toothbrush or somewhere, like attaching it to a habit that I already do so that I can use it more regularly. Like I want to be putting this on me every day so I can remember my intention of keeping overwhelmed down, keeping my self-confidence up, and sticking like glue to my focus and my vision. So after I've used this oil up and I feel like maybe it doesn't serve me anymore, maybe I need to move on, then I'm going to try another oil blend or another combination of oils, depending on what my emotional state is in the future at that point. A week, 2 weeks, 4 weeks from now, I might use another one of Desiree's blends. I Love Myself or Soothe the Soul or I Am Free or On My Path or I Am Fabulous, or the Manifestors blend or Momentum. Desiree has a lot of beautiful blends, and if you're curious about them and you want to use one of them, then please give me a call or message me so that I can help you figure out which one you need and help you make it together if you don't have all the oils. Send you a sample of one of the oils that you need so you can finish your blend or whatever it is. Thank you so much for watching this video about how you can create sustainable emotional independence in your life. Keep watching. I've got more great things to teach you about using your essential oils at home in more meaningful ways.